Young Jude Foley is an orphan stuck in the isolated village of Marygreen. When he isn't hauling water or scaring away crows for pennies, he stares out at the distant horizon, looking for the glow of the university city, Christminster. Jude teaches himself Latin and Greek while driving a bread cart. He's intensely driven, but he also possesses an almost paralyzing empathy. He refuses to step on earthworms in the road, and he hates seeing sneeze troned because he imagines the branches feel pain. His Aunt Drusilla sees this sensitivity and offers a grim warning. She tells him that their working-class family is cursed when it comes to relationships, that the Foleys are simply not made for wedlock. Consider what happens when a brilliant, self-taught mind with deep emotional vulnerabilities slams into a Victorian world designed to keep him out. Jude's life becomes a two-front war against institutions that refuse to accommodate him. He spends his entire adulthood throwing himself against two impregnable citadels: the exclusionary walls of higher education and the suffocating chains of legal marriage. His intellectual ambitions face their first major delay through a disastrous romance. He meets Arabella Dawn, a practical, coarse country girl who tricks him into an unwanted marriage by feigning pregnancy. They share nothing in common, and their relationship descends into grim survivalism. When they have to slaughter a pig to feed themselves, Jude is sickened by the violence, while Arabella mocks his squeamishness. The marriage quickly collapses under this mutual resentment, and she abandons him for Australia. Freed from his marriage, Jude finally makes it to Christminster. He expects to be welcomed by the scholars he admires. Instead, his only entry into the university is as a manual laborer, carving blocks of stone to repair the college buildings. He writes to the college masters begging for guidance, and they tell him to stick to his trade. Jude realizes that this revered academic city is an ignorant place. Its impenetrable walls are built strictly for the sons of millionaires, actively shutting out the working-class minds it was founded to nurture. Defeated by the class system and locked out of academia, Jude abandons his dream of becoming a scholar. Since the first Citadel won't let him in, he decides to seek a sense of purpose entirely in his romantic life. That purpose arrives in the form of his cousin, Sue Bridehead. She is a highly sensitive, free-thinking artist who shares Jude's unconventional worldview and intellectual hunger. But Sue is fighting her own battle against societal expectations. Seeking stability, she marries Jude's former schoolmaster, Richard Phillotson, and finds herself trapped in a suffocating, rule-bound existence. The physical reality of the marriage repulses her so deeply that she literally jumps out of a second-story window to avoid him. Shocked by her desperation, Phillotson commits a massive Victorian scandal and lets her leave. Jude and Sue are finally free to be together, but their past traumas haunt them. They both believe that institutionalizing their love with a legal contract will destroy its purity. They refuse to take the oath. Even after Arabella and Phillotson finalize their divorces, Jude and Sue refuse to conform to the state's expectations. By rejecting marriage, they set themselves up for a final collision with a society that refuses to tolerate outliers. The breaking point arrives in the mail. Arabella suddenly ships Jude a child he never knew he had. They call the boy Little Father Time. He is deeply, unnervingly depressed, physically embodying the inescapable burden of Jude and Sue's past mistakes. With a child to feed, their unconventional lifestyle becomes a massive liability. The local gossip grows relentless. Jude loses his monument carving jobs because clients refuse to hire an unmarried couple. The sheer exhaustion of trying to live a progressive life in a deeply conservative era starts to drain them both. Eventually, the pressure breaks them. They return to town and quietly let their neighbors believe they are legally married. It is a total surrender to public opinion, and it leaves Sue spiritually broken, reduced to a dull, cowed, and listless version of her former self. Jude's life ends in total defeat. Through this tragedy, Thomas Hardy illustrates how a complete lack of social infrastructure for the poor nullifies individual talent. The very institutions meant to elevate the population, academia and marriage, functioned as citadels that effectively imprisoned those they were supposed to protect.